This chapter was very nasty, not to mention a lot of revelations here and there. Even I am pretty shocked and surprised. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, or you could call it the 7 Deadly Sins, on chapter 260. Now, this chapter right here, like I said, very crazy, nasty revelation, etc. Not to mention why Estarossa is what he is today. Just a minor recap spoiler ahead, that's if you even read the chapter. Hopefully you did beforehand. So if anything else, let's go. We add to it that Montspiet and Delia are talking to each other, and Montspiet says, "Are you really serious gonna return your commandment to Zeldris?" And Delia's like, "Yeah, I lost confidence I had in myself as one of the 10 commandments. I mean, from the time when I was born, I had learned that we were supposed to hate our enemies in the goddess clan and those who allied themselves with it, especially all the races. Of course, like him, I won't deny anything, but I've always wondered what the hell was going on here. I won't deny the fact that my sister was killed, etc., but it's still bothering me." Even Delia says, like, "You know the time Elizabeth saved us, etc.? Not to mention the humans saved us when we were collapsed and we were about to and passed out." It's just like she doesn't know how to put it into words. And we had to it that Montspiet says, "I'm happy. It's been a long time since I've gotten to talk to you like this. 3,000 years ago, ever since she died, your sister died, you became quiet and taciturn." And we have to it that Delia says, "My sister can't talk to you anymore, so she'd be mad at me if I didn't talk to you. After all, she loved you, Montspiet. She always did." But we have to it that Montspiet was trying to tell her otherwise, and we have to it that one of the humans who tended to Montspiet and Delia says, "Hey, you two, we have to get out of here. Something terrible is happening." But all of a sudden, she gets blazed up right now. Even Montspiet and Delia can only look on in shock right now. And we have to it that it was Estarossa and says, "Hey, what's up?" And Delia gets really angry and tries to hit him, but apparently that did not work, as Estarossa uses full counter and blasted Delia back. And Estarossa's like, "Hey man, what's the big idea? What's with you attacking one of your teammates out of the blue, huh? I've been searching for you guys everywhere. Has a parched in my throat." And we have to it that Montspiet says, "Hey, please let that soul go. That human you killed saved our lives." And Estarossa's like, "You think I even care right now?" And we have to it that Delia tells him to stop, and Montspiet's like, "I figured you'd say that." And he ends up switching the soul with an apple instead, and they manage to get out of there. And we have to it that Montspiet says, "Hey, Delia, make a break for it now while you can." And Delia says, "I'm sorry. Go on your way." And she let the soul go that saved her life. And we have to it that Estarossa recognizes that attack, and it's called Trickstar. And he tries to hit Montspiet, but it's not even working. We even have to it that Delia tries to stop Estarossa, but Montspiet says, "Get back, Delia. Your magic is far too ill-suited against his full counter." Because we know Estarossa's full counter is able to deflect physical attacks. And we have to it that, that Estarossa tells Montspiet, "I've always thought you were way too overprotective." And therefore he gets him in the necklock and says, "I'm here for your commandments. That's what I've done. That's what I'm doing here." And we have to it that that Estarossa says that Montspiet's like, "Our commandments, but why? Is this Zeldris' order? How would you get them in the first place?" And Estarossa is like, "Does it really matter? Your destiny is to die. But to die here and have your commandments taken by me." We have to it that Delia says, "Stop it, knock it off." And we have to it that Delia explains that she was planning to return her commandment to Zeldris anyways. And Montspiet says, "Me too, because if I could be released from his silence commandment, I think, then he could be able to tell you what's up. Those words he's been keeping hidden away from his heart all this time." But Estarossa was still cracking Montspiet's neck right now, and we had to it that Estarossa explains to Delia and Montspiet's like, "You know as well as I do, what value is there in a demon who's given up the fight, huh? And if you're Demon King's elite, then fight honorably and die like it." And Estarossa says, "Besides, it'd be a problem for me if you went returning your commandments to Zell. You know that?" even Estarossa, which I'm pretty sure everyone speculated what Estarossa was planning to do. He says that he would take all the commandments for himself as soon as he takes care of his brothers, which is highly unlikely and not going to happen even if he tried to do so. Because here's the thing. We had to it that Monspiet says, I knew it. You've lost your mind. You're twisted. Even Estarossa is like, what are you talking about? I'm twisted? And we had to it that Monspiet says, let me tell you one last thing, pitiful little Estarossa. The truth all the other 10 commandments know except you. And he goes like, go ahead and tell me. Your last will and testament. And we had to it that Monspiet somehow swap positions with Estarossa. Now, Monspiet has Estarossa in a necklock and says, listen well now to my resistance against you. He even says what he did is a conjurer's joke. He says it can swap any objects of roughly equal size or mass within the scope of my power, including myself. And we had to it that Darius like, don't scare me like that. Why the heck did you have to do all that, you know? So we had to it that Estarossa is really struggling right now, and Monspiet tells him, struggling is useless. I was waiting for you to have my neck completely immobilized before I swapped us. So Monspiet decides to tell a story, and this is what Estarossa really is, and he explains it this way. Estarossa was known to be the Demon King's son, but you know the sad thing about this, to my shock, is that he was born without the power of darkness, and he even calls him a timid little coward who hesitated to kill anything but an insect. Even Estarossa was telling him to shut up and tries to use Hellblades, but that does not work on Monspiet because Darius says, you're an idiot. Monspiet is one of the greatest wielders of Hellfire even in the demon world. Your shoddy little flames couldn't even affect him at all. And Monspiet continues his story where he left out where Estarossa could only kill an insect or he was just a timid coward. And he explains that Estarossa's father took pity upon the one that was born between his genius of an oldest son and third son, and thus bestowed a commandment to his second son. And that was a mistake, apparently, Monspiet is explaining, because the commandment did awaken the power of darkness within him, but at the same time, it was eating away at his mind and soul and left him unstable. And so this was enough to why Estarossa has these wicked thoughts and ambitions. It's one thing for Meliodas or Zeldris, but he explains to Estarossa, if you were to try to taking in any more commandments than your own, you will surely kill yourself or surely be destroyed. So we have to it that Estarossa passes out, but we have to it that Daria was approaching Estarossa, but Monspiet is like, no, don't come any closer yet, but it was too late. Estarossa wakes up, grabs Daria by the neck, and was about to kill her. But apparently we have to it that Monspiet tries to tell Daria there's something that I've always wanted to tell you. And all of a sudden he swaps places with Daria so she won't get hit, and Estarossa pierces out Monspiet's last heart, and therefore and ends the chapter there. So wow. Just wow. The only thing that gave out in this chapter was Estarossa's revelations about trying to take all the commandments for himself while he takes care of his brothers, which is highly unlikely because he has no chance against Zeldris and Meliodas at the same time. And not to mention, I highly doubt he could absorb all the decrees. And here's the reason why. Because if you guys read the chapter correctly, Monspiet explains that Estarossa had no power of darkness, and he was a timid little coward who hesitated to kill anything but an insect. He further even explains that because his father took pity on his second son, he gave him a commandment, but apparently that commandment did awaken his power of darkness within him, but at the same time, it ate away his own mind and soul and left him unstable. That's the reason why he's so twisted with these thoughts and ambitions. And he also further explains that if he tried to take any more commandments than his own, he will surely kill himself. And of course, Daria approaches Estarossa, who she thinks he's passed out, which she thinks that he's passed out, but that isn't the case. Estarossa still wakes up and is about to pierce Daria, but Monspiet switches places with Daria, and he gets pierced instead with his last heart being torn out right now. And I'm pretty sure you guys will understand why I say last heart. I'm pretty sure if you guys been keeping up to date with Nanatsu no Taizai, you will understand that Derriere and Montpellier did enter their Enduro forms by sacrificing 6 of their 7 hearts to enter that, and they only have 1 heart left. So that gives Estarossa somewhat of an advantage to possibly kill them both, etc. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Aside from that, wow. Just freaking wow. So it looks like we get to know Estarossa was born without a power of darkness, and he was given a commandment by his father out of pity. But because of that commandment he has inside him, it left him unstable. It awakened the power of darkness within him, but it caused some mental, psychological side effects, I guess. So that's I guess that's the reason why Estarossa is what he is today, because that commandment. It may have given him power, but it gave him something. The side effects were much worse, something that Estarossa did not know himself, and the other 10 commandments only know about that. So pretty cool and pretty slick, but Estarossa having the goal to collect all the decrees to himself, that's not going to happen. I'm pretty sure he's going to fail and he's going to die. Well, if he does die, it'll be sad, but I wouldn't really give a lot of about him for some reason, because I don't know. But at least he's making things a little crazy and interesting. But seriously though, trying to collect all the decrees himself, and as Montpellier explains, if he tries to take more than 1 decree to himself, then he will surely be destroyed. And if that really happens, I look forward that he self-destructs and dies, because he is doing something way reckless than usual. And of course, he's disobeying Meliodas and Zeldris, of course. And of course, Zeldris did warn Estarossa not to take all the decrees to himself. So I guess that's another thing why people are speculating, and including myself for a little bit, why Estarossa is going to screw things up or going to cause some trouble. So that explains it. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So alright, I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!